Normally, standing in a line is just a predictable social contract. You wait your turn, you move forward, and that's it.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward.
Right, but then you step into airport security, and suddenly it's like you're playing this incredibly aggressive, high-stakes game of Simon Says. I mean, it's just shoes off, belts off, separate your liquids, put your laptop in a totally different tray.
Oh, absolutely. You are instantly thrust into this frantic compliance machine. So, today's deep dive is really about hacking that system. We're tracking the evolution of airport security, how to navigate the intense verbal commands right now, and why the surprising new 2026 TSA rules are about to change how you pack forever.
Let's start with that immediate hurdle,
Yeah.
the verbal barrage at the checkpoint,
Yeah.
because it's designed to move you fast, but it relies heavily on rapid-fire jargon.
It does, yeah. And TSA agents actually use those verbal instructions as a behavioral assessment tool. They aren't just telling you what to do, they're watching how you react to sudden authority and stress.
Wait, really? So it's like a test?
Basically, yeah. When you're hit with overlapping commands to manage screening bins and carry-ons, the natural human instinct is to just rush or panic or try to guess what they want.
Which usually ends up slowing things down anyway. If you miss a cue, especially if you're in a foreign airport or just, overwhelmed by all the noise, you freeze. But our sources highlight a surprisingly simple hack to break this cycle.
Right. So instead of fumbling or guessing, you just look at the agent and politely ask, could you speak a little slower? Or even, could you say that again?
It sounds almost too basic,
Hmm.
but the psychology behind it is actually fascinating. You aren't just asking for repetition, you're actively disrupting their conveyor belt momentum.
Exactly. You're forcing a micropause in a system built on relentless speed. And officers overwhelmingly prefer this over a panicked traveler who, accidentally sneaks a prohibited item through because they just didn't process the command.
So that simple question forces the agent to interact with you as a human being.
Yeah, and it immediately resets the pace for everyone.
Okay, so verbal de-escalation is your best defense today. But what I find really compelling in our research is that this entire chaotic Simon Says routine is eventually just going away. The ultimate solution isn't better communication, it's eliminating the verbal friction entirely through new 2026 technology.
That's right. Major U.S. hubs, so places like JFK and LAX, they're deploying advanced CT scanners that fundamentally alter the screening process. Instead of the flat, overlapping X-rays we're so used to, these generate highly detailed 3D images of your luggage.
Okay, but does a 3D picture actually kill the dreaded 311 rule? Because cramming everything into tiny 3.4-ounce bottles is arguably the biggest stressor in the whole packing process.
Well, no, the 311 rule isn't completely dead for the general public just yet. But because these new scanners don't just take pictures, they use algorithms to measure the exact density and mass of liquids.
Oh, wow. So they can tell what the liquid actually is.
Precisely. They determine the molecular composition. Because of that, the TSA has officially carved out 11 specific exemptions where you bypass the size limits entirely.
Right, and I was looking at that list of exemptions. Some of them make total sense, like full-size prescription meds, baby formula, medical ice packs, even wet batteries for wheelchairs.
Which is a huge relief for a lot of people.
It really is. But then it gets weird. I mean, you can bring fresh eggs, live fish in water-filled containers.
Yeah. Biological samples are on that list too, along with duty-free alcohol as long as it's sealed with a 48-hour receipt.
Wait, help me understand the logic here. The TSA will let me carry a literal bag of water with a goldfish in it. But if I try to bring a 5-ounce bottle of my own expensive shampoo, it gets thrown in the trash. How does that make any sense?
I know it sounds ridiculous, but it comes down to the difference between outdated policy and modern physics. Security is strictly looking for flammable or explosive threats, not strange groceries.
Okay, fair enough.
In the past, the old X-ray machines couldn't tell the difference between a bottle of thick shampoo, a bag of water, and a liquid explosive.
Yeah.
They all just looked like dense, dark blocks on a screen.
Ah, I see. So they just relied on a blanket ban on all liquids to be safe.
Exactly. But the new 3D CT technology analyzes molecular density in real time. It can scan a water-filled container or a carton of eggs and instantly verify that the chemical signature matches harmless organic matter.
Not an explosive precursor.
Right. The machine definitively proves the item is safe. They don't care about your pet fish, they just care about targeted threat detection.
Which really shifts the whole experience from blind compliance to actual logical security.
It totally does. Knowledge takes the anxiety right out of the equation.
Totally. So whether you're using a simple psychological phrase to hit pause on a shouting agent today, or taking advantage of the 2026 tech to bring full-sized medical liquids without panic, you can finally reclaim some control at the airport. You aren't just reacting to commands anymore. You understand the invisible mechanics of the system.
Exactly. You're empowered now.
Right. Well, before we wrap up this deep dive, consider this. As these molecular CT scanners get smaller, faster, and cheaper to produce, what other stressful mandatory checkpoints in our daily lives might soon become completely invisible?